Alright, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be showing you guys some of my favorite knife glove combos that aren't like super over the top and very like common. And I think these are really good, even though it's not good for my wallet. It may be good for you, and you may be rich and you might want it. But anyways, most of these are kind of cheap, and it's worth it to let you know that it's pretty flexible with other knives with the same skin as well. And also I'll probably be putting the price in every single combo, but you also have to remember the price might not be the same today as it was, I don't know, 2 years ago or 2 years in the future. So just a heads up for that, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Alright, so the first one on the list is Operation Broken Fang needlepoint gloves, which are, I'm pretty sure, battle scarred and butterfly knife rest coat. And this is actually the combo I've been using for a little while now, and I like it because of course again it's really flexible, and the gloves are really cheap, probably the cheapest on the market. And you've probably heard people say that rust coat looks not that good because it looks like poop or whatever, but in my opinion I think it's a really good and cheap option, because rust coat is one of the cheaper knives out there that have like covers the entire blade, even if it's battle scarred, unlike, let's say, Boreal Forest or whatever. And it's pretty good, I'd say. The next one on my list, which is one of my favorites, is hand wraps Overprint and Karamba tigertooth. And of course again, the knife can be pretty flexible, as I've used an Ursus tigertooth with the same pair of gloves, and it looks just as good. And I think many people might say it doesn't look as good because the colors don't match or whatever, but I feel like the bright colors match perfectly well, and it looks really nice. Overprint gloves are also not that expensive, considering field tested is only around $300, which is, I'd say, for a pair of gloves with some really bright colors, is pretty good. The next one on my list, which is like a really good battle scarred knife and glove combo for both of them, is the M9 Bayonet Urban Mask and the Moto gloves. Boom. And the reason why I like this combo so much is not only is it cheap, the scratched surfaces on both the knife and the gloves really match well. And I feel like this is one of the cases where the more scratched it gets, or the worse the wear it gets, the better the look becomes. And some people might not like this because it's like really battle scarred and really scratched and uglyish, but in my opinion it looks really perfect. It's just like a different pattern. It's just that people don't really look for this pattern. The next one on my list, and we're steering away from the more scratched looking gloves, is gonna be a Moto glove Smokeout and Stiletto knife Urban Mask. And the knife can come also in different skins as well, like ultraviolet, night stripe, Damascus steel, vanilla, etc. And can also be used with another knife, which makes it so flexible. And the thing I like about this knife glove combo is that when compared to the gloves, the stiletto is pretty small, and it's more toothpick than normal, if you know what I mean, because the gloves are bigger than other gloves. So you have kind of like two opposing ideas, super big and super small. While we're on the topic of buying knives and gloves that I could probably never afford even if I sold my kidney, I think a black tie, driver gloves, and a Talon knife ultraviolet look pretty good. And I mean, this one I feel like is less flexible because the Talon really looks a lot better than every other knife that I've tested out, but I mean, of course, you're welcome to check and try for yourself. And I feel like the black on the blade and the black on the gloves really matches well with the age, really matches well together. And not only that, if you put on number K or Sally, I think, their sleeves really also match with the gloves, because it's kind of white and then it transitions into black and then it kind of goes purple and then black back. If you really do want a more black and white combo though, with the same gloves, I recommend that you go with the Karambit Urban Mask, or really just any other knife with Urban Mask. And I think it really looks good on the Karambit because it's just essentially all white and black. And I feel like there's not much more to say about this one, except that it just looks good and it's black and white. Moving on to a probably even more expensive combo is the sport gloves Omega and skeleton knife blue steel. And fun fact, this combo was actually used by Dupree, and I don't know if he still uses it by now, but I had to admit it looks pretty good. Even though there's no matching colors, I think it's still pretty nice, I think. Now, you know what they say, it's better to have no knife than to have a Navajo knife, and I kind of think that's true. But if you are really looking to go for a cheaper combo, you got the Navajo Boreal Forest and the hand wraps Boreal Forest as well, or I don't remember what it's called, but it's like got the Boreal Forest pattern, you know. And both of them, of course, they match because they have the same pattern essentially. And while people hate on the Navajo a lot, including me, I think this one is not really that bad, and I feel like people should give it a chance. While we're on the topic of Boreal Forest combos, I think we should talk about either Operation Hydra or Bloodhound Gloves Gorilla. And I think this pair of gloves really matches with Operation Shattered Web knives like Skeleton, Paracord, Survival, and in this case I have the Nomad Knife Boreal Forest. With the exception of Classic Knife, that one looks pretty bad with this pair of gloves, but of course you can check it out if you want. But yeah, I feel like the Boreal Forest on both the skins, or both knife and glove, they match pretty well, and again, there's nothing more to be said about this one. It's a really good match. For the final one here, with one of my probably more favored knives, is the Bowie knife, or Bowie, whatever, Black Laminate, and Operation Broken Fang gloves unhinged. And both of the colors really match well. And because the Bowie knife also removes a hand, I feel like there's really not too much of a need to get expensive gloves. And I feel like this combo really matches well, and the gloves really are not that expensive. I feel like it's, I think, $200 at most to get at least field tested. And I feel like the gloves really do a good job, while you only have just one hand of just, I don't know, looking good.